Welcome back to the Jaco Report. Back in 1985, Hunter S. Thompson wrote the following about television news. Quote, "The TV business is uglier than most things. It is normally perceived as some kind of cruel and shallow money trench through the heart of the journalism industry, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason, which is more or less true, for they, for the most part, are dirty little animals with huge brains and no pulse." Close quote. Which brings us to Channel 4, anchorman Larry Connors, Facebook, and the Internal Revenue Service. After decades as a St. Louis anchorman, Connors was fired by Channel 4 this week. The issue, supposedly, a Connors Facebook post where he wondered aloud whether he was possibly being punished by the IRS because of a contentious interview Connors did with President Obama. Channel 4 forced Connors to apologize on air and note that his problems with the IRS predated the Obama interview by several years, and then Channel 4 fired him. Connors had been at KMOV for 27 years and in St. Louis for 37 years, including a stint here at Channel 2 from 1979 until 1986. We're glad to welcome Larry Connors this morning to the Jaco Report. Larry, stupid question, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Charles.
So let's get this IRS nonsense out of the way before we get to serious issues of substantive journalism. No one is suggesting that you are trying to scam the IRS. You owe them money, you're paying them money, pure and simple. I've been there myself where they say, yo, how much? Dude, we'll put you on a monthly payment plan. You can pay us that way. And that was what was going on.
Now, I'll be glad to take the story very quickly for you and give you a quick timeline.
Okay.
I had a plan as of August of 2011, paying on that. The interview with President Obama took place in April 2012.
Right.
Somewhere between April 2012, September 2012, I got notice they're going to cancel my plan, you know, and come September they did cancel the plan, filed in Chicago, which I don't know how it all goes down, but I don't know why it's filed in Chicago, and then also filed here, and we didn't know about till October. Continued paying on it, and we could not get them to reinstate the plan. Still can't.
Did they tell you why they canceled the monthly plan? Because I know from my experience with the IRS, they tell you you can stay on the monthly plan, but if you miss a payment, the whole lump sum's due.
I was paying everything on time and continued to do so.
And they didn't tell you why then?
I leave that to my tax attorney, and you know, I don't know what all the background is other than the fact that it was pulled from us. If they do it, you're still always allowed to reinstate and restart it, but they will not do it, and to this date, they have not. We're still trying to get it resolved. I've got a tax attorney dealing with it. Charles, since 1980, I haven't even done my taxes. I leave that to folks who are a lot smarter than me and let them take care of it.
Yeah, what do they say about the law? A man who represents himself in court has a fool for a client.
It's a fool.
Yeah, so tell me, you posted that on Facebook, and then you come into work. Was there any immediate blowback from Channel 4? Did they say anything to you like, hey, maybe this is true, or whoa, what did you do? Or was there any feedback at all?
There was. I posted it. It went up that Monday night, and I never said that the IRS did target me. I don't have any proof of that. Don't make up anything I don't have. I just questioned the timing and coincidence, and I had heard from the beginning of the Obama interview, watch out, conspiracy theorists say they're going to come. I don't believe that. The moment they pulled it from me in September, I still didn't say it had anything to do with the interview. I didn't through January. I only in this last week and a half, when the information began to come out by IRS and supposedly rogue agents, did I say, I just wonder. And that's all I did. I questioned.
Yeah, but the Channel 4 management said, yeah, in our mind, you're not questioning it. You're stating this as fact.
That's right, and I said that. I said, read what I said. I said exactly what I meant. I didn't state anything as a fact. I said I don't have any facts. It's just the timing. And Facebook, in this case, putting out there, starting conversation, personal perspective on a story, and in this case, it happened to be the tax issue.
Yeah. To play the devil's advocate, though, I mean, wasn't that a little disingenuous on your part, saying, well, was this or not? I mean, obviously, that was a leading question, sort of like, I
wouldn't have even brought the subject up if there had not been the so-called rogue agent stories going on, because remember, I'd been through this for months. I never said anything up to that point. It's only based upon the news story breaking, and I thought, you know, I'm seeing all these cases come up, and they were supposedly going after different groups and individuals, and I just raised it and put it out as a forum to start conversation.
Now, Channel 4 is owned by the Belo Corporation out of Dallas.
Correct.
Belo has been having some financial problems, mainly because their newspaper division has been in funky shape. Quite bluntly, do you think this was a salary dump disguised as something about journalistic integrity?
I'm not going to speculate, Charles. You know, I've been asked that question before, and also age and other issues, but I don't speculate. I'll give you a fact. I was out for a surgery December 12 that actually I should have had. I had a fall in the station back in May of 2012. I didn't want to have surgery then because we had the primary coming up, the general election, and ratings, so I thought I'll wait to December. I had my surgery December 12. A month later, I had to go back in for a second surgery. I had a staph infection, and I came back, and the first day back at work, they take me upstairs. I thought I'm going to be greeted, welcome back. I'm told, we're taking you off the 10. So I returned and no longer had the job I had when I left.
Wait a minute. You come back from shoulder surgery, and the first thing they tell you when you come in and return is, hey, dude, you're no longer on the 10 o'clock.
I came back from a work comp, FMLA, family medical leave, and 2 surgeries, and I was told, we're not putting you back on the 10. And
it's a good thing you didn't have an amputation, or they might have taken you off everything. Tell you what, Channel 4, pardon me, issued a statement. I want us to bring up a full-screen graphic of their statement that's from their general manager. It said, quote, Larry is certainly entitled to his opinion, but taking a personal political position on one of the station's Facebook pages creates an appearance of bias that is inconsistent with important journalistic standards, close quote. In other words, they are implying that you would be biased in saying anything about the IRS story and that you somehow violated journalistic standards at Channel 4. Any ideas which one you violated?
Let me put, this Facebook page is different than a corporate Facebook page. Obviously, in a corporate Facebook page, you shouldn't be putting stuff out. A news media Facebook page, they want you to engage the public. They want you to put in perspectives and question and do things of this nature. I had done one 2 days before at their request, reference to Percy, Illinois deaths, the 4 children that died. I had a letter from one of the managers saying, hey, would you post your personal perspective on the death of these kids as you do with a lot of your other stories
But there wasn't
on
any
Facebook?
guidelines like don't make anybody mad or anything.
Never heard that. I'd also posted on April 17th when the bombers had been caught in Boston, one killed that night. And in reference to the one who was killed, I said I'm stepping out of my normal mode, and I'm in a rare occasion. I'm going to say that this is no longer a bomber suspect. This is a Boston bomber. So I made it very clear, a personal opinion there. No one made any noise over that.
There was no splash
noise over that. I was getting accolades from all the management about what I was doing.
What are we to make of this? Because in the digital age, we in the media, whether it's radio, TV, or print, are told to use Facebook and use Twitter, in your phrase, to quote, engage the audience. But sometimes it seems like the lines or the rules are made of smoke. Were you ever given any indication that the rules said, you know, you cannot post any speculation, you cannot post your own thoughts, you cannot post anything like this? Were you ever told that something like this IRS posting was verboten?
They have since said that they had a policy that they enacted while I was out on medical leave. They said they sent it to me.
Convenient, isn't it?
I never saw it. You know, they said, I know supposedly it might have been sent to me. I don't remember opening or seeing it. I'm not making a claim I did or didn't. I just don't recall it. I do know the AFTRA bargaining unit said you never present to the bargaining unit as a bargaining issue for a collective bargaining, so to that extent it doesn't exist. But the point is, I mean, I'm not trying to embarrass the station, cause issues. I mean, I'm simply doing what I thought they wanted me to do, and they had no problems with, and I questioned, they had seen all of these Facebook postings I make, and I often would deal with something, asking, is it common sense? You hold a kid and suspend him because he points his finger at somebody, goes bang, bang, and I question those kind of things all the time.
Well, here's my question, and you mentioned this briefly before. We're told to engage. You, like me, you're a white guy of a certain age who's been there a while, making a fairly good buck. It smells to a lot of people to whom I've spoken that this was their way of shoving you out the door, dumping the salary, and getting rid of you because you'd reached possibly reached a certain age. Do you have any indication that that might even be partially true, or do you think that's all beside the point?
I'm going to leave that to the attorneys to go through that discussion.
Are you going to sue anybody over this?
I'm leaving it to the attorneys at this point. All I'm doing is saying that, you know, this is 50 years in broadcasting for me. I know you've got a long time, probably longer. You're so much older. 37 of my years here in St. Louis. I would not throw all my credibility, integrity away on something like this, and I was doing the job that they wanted as far as I understood.
Okay, so tell me real quickly, and we're just about out of time.
Okay.
In the time you've been in the business, the corporate people who run the business now are not journalists. Most of them are MBAs, they're from the accounting end, they're from the business side, which has changed significantly from when we started. Used to be news operations were run by news people.
Right.
What else has changed? What in terms of corporate governance of how things operate? What has changed since you started in the last 70 or 90 years?
Well, we don't have to use the horses anymore. If that's what you're asking.
And we don't have to chisel on stone tablets.
We might have some donkeys still around.
Yeah, but no, seriously, it seems to be a lot of it is driven by money rather than what's the content of the story.
A lot of businesses today are like that. We accept that. The business has changed, shorter staffs, longer hours, you know, and not given the tools sometimes you feel you need, and poor judgments where you're spending money you shouldn't be spending, and not good judgment where you need to spend money, and most importantly, perhaps, those with experience and knowledge are kind of shoved aside, and newer, younger, inexperienced are brought in, and you begin to see it on the air. There's a real balance of sometimes connection, and understanding, and journalistic integrity and credibility, which is what they say they want.
How did you feel when they used journalistic integrity as one of the reasons you were dumped? Was there an eye roll and a palm slap to the forehead at that point?
I sat there and I thought, you know, it's again, you know, I had more meetings with the news director than anyone probably down there, and sent more memos to him and questioning everything for how we're doing particular stories and how we're dropping allegations and attributions and crucifying someone on the air. And he knows that, you know, if I come to him with an issue, it's a legitimate news issue, not a personnel issue, a news issue.
So you're not going anyplace, you're staying around town, and we can expect to hear from your attorneys more on this as time goes on, I assume?
Let me put it this way. I guess I'm a free agent, don't have a job. But God has blessed me in many ways, and I've been very blessed in this market to have this kind of run, and right now I just leave it in His hands, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll see what the Almighty and your attorneys have to say. Larry Connors,
thank you,
thanks
Charles.
for coming in, my friend.
Thanks for the opportunity to take this.
Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. We hope you can be with us next Sunday morning for another edition of the Jaco Report.